Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Summer, and to all of you that keep coming back, hello and welcome back. Quick reminder, if you've never subscribed, just to remind you to click that red button there that says subscribe, and after that click the bell sign. That way you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. So in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys how I became a Benin girl. Yes, a Benin girl. Obviously a lot of you know that I'm an Igbo girl, but the truth is this: there are two places in the world that are home to me. When I say home, I have to be careful how I say that, because I've lived in Europe for such a long time, and I can say I feel at home in Europe. Like, I feel very settled in Europe, that even when I go to Nigeria I want to come back. I made a video where I talked about how if you lived in a foreign country for a long time, it can actually begin to be home. So when I say that, you know, I have to be careful not to confuse people what I'm trying to say. Europe is like home where I have settled, but when you say home where I come from, you know, home where I have my biggest memories, childhood memories, home where most of the big things in my life occurred, and you know, do you know what I mean? Like, where I get this home where I have the nostalgic feeling, that's the word, where I have the nostalgic feeling of home. You know, when I say nostalgic, it's like home where I get the goosebumps, where, how do I say it in pidgin English, where cold, you know, home where, you know, nostalgic, like a cold catch you for body kind of a feeling. Yeah, that's the word I'm trying to say. You know, so when it comes to that, there are two places in the world that are like that to me. It has to be Imo State, where I come from, and Benin City, where I grew up. But I was actually born to my parents when they were living in Lagos. My parents were living in Lagos, but the thing is, the way they did it in those days was, when the woman is pregnant and it's time to have the baby, she will go to the village to have the baby in the village, because in the village is where she has the best network of support, and where they, you know, where they can do all the traditional rights or whatever when a baby is born. So my mother used to like go to the village to have her babies. So my mother was pregnant with me, and then she went to the village, and I was born in the village and then brought back to Lagos. I literally was just born in the village and then back in Lagos. So the first few years of my life was in Lagos. But my father left us in Lagos and went to Benin to start off a business, and his businesses were doing so well that my father wanted us to come back and join him in Benin. So what happened there was that he sent us to the village to live for 1 year. So we went from Lagos and we went to the village, and we lived for a year in the village, and I was 6-year-old, and I went to primary school in the village. And after that we then moved to Benin. So at the age of 7 I was in Benin, and most of my childhood I lived in Benin. Anytime I go to Nigeria, and let's say I took a flight to Benin, or I took a Degbe bus or whatever transport I took to Benin, there is just that feeling in my heart when I get closer and closer to Benin. I can't explain it. The joy that just overwhelms me. I'm gonna get even, I feel even emotional talking about it, you know. Or even if it's a flight and my flight lands, the feeling, I can't explain it. Benin holds so much memory in my heart. Like, Benin holds a special place in my heart, because that's where I grew up. You know, there's just something about it. The red sand, I don't know if that happens to a lot of you, you know, the red sand. There's something about the red sand that anytime I go to Benin, just looking at the soil and looking at the red sand, it's just, I don't know how to explain this thing. I don't know if this happens to any of you. There's just something about it that makes me feel so at home. You know, this is where I grew up, this is where I had most of my memories, you know, and all of that. But anytime I go to the east, you know, at the end of the day, the east, it beats it all. Like, everywhere in the world, there is something about when I go to the east. Even though I didn't grow up in Imo State, the thing is, we used to go for like every Christmas holiday, New Year festival. Even though I didn't grow up there, my parents never allowed us to miss out on that, of that knowledge of where we come from. Allow us miss out on knowing where we come from. And believe it or not, of all the places in the world, I can't lie to you guys, when I go to my village, I feel like rolling in the ground. I don't know how to explain it. Feeling of, you know, knowing that no matter where I go in the world, this is where I come from. I almost feel like this is the ground where I grew out of. This is the soil that I grew out of. There's that feeling of, this is where I come from. Like, no matter where I go in the world, this is my origin. You know, there is something like nothing beats that. I can't explain it. Nothing beats that. And then the next then definitely is Benin. I would be lying if I did not say this thing. Benin is home to me as well. Not like my village. My village is at a different level. My village is at a different, deeper level than anywhere else. But after that, definitely is Benin. I grew up in Benin. Like, at the age of 7, I went to primary school. I went to Agbado Primary School. Yes, remember I went to Agbado Primary School. I remember the class I was in Agbado Primary School. If you take me there today, I will point it out to you. I know the class, my first class ever in Agbado Primary School. Agbado Primary School was a blue uniform. I don't know if it's changed now. I can never forget my time in Agbado Primary School. When I started Agbado Primary School, I have to be honest and say, you know, my father was rich. We were rich and comfortable. Started off right. My parents were rich. We were swimming in money and everything, you know, all of that going on. But things changed. I've shared a lot about my stories, and we became poor. And I remember going to Agbado Primary School barefooted. If you're not Nigerian or you're not African, if you come from it, you know, it depends on what part of the world you come from. Going to school barefooted wouldn't have been big deal. But the thing is, rich men's children do not go to school barefooted. That's the fact. You know, I went to school barefooted. Secondary school, I went to Imagwero College on Sapele Road. We lived at Ogbe Stadium. I just have all these memories. When I think about it, I can't help but smile. Funny enough, I have reasons to smile when I think about it, but at the same time, there are some memories that come back and I have reasons to be sad or emotional and all of this. I had most of my toughest life experiences in Benin. My worst experiences of poverty were, you know, poverty was in Benin. I remember going to Imagwero College and I walked all the way from Ogbe Stadium. I walked all the way to Sapele Road to go to school. So no transport fare because my father couldn't afford it anymore. No school lunch. I went to school in the morning. I walked back home under the hot sun. No lunch, nothing. You know, it was tough. It was tough. But these are the memories that I have. And I remember walking all the way from, you know, Ogbe Stadium. All the way from Ogbe Stadium, we were closer to Stadium Road, and we would walk all the way from Stadium. We would walk all the way. I would walk in front of the stadium, and sometimes I walk through the front of the stadium. Sometimes I walk through the back, and then I connect all the way from the behind St. Paul's. Those of you that know Benin, I walk kind of like behind the Catholic Church. Sometimes I can walk nearer to the Catholic Church, and I come out through the Airport Road. Sometimes you like Airport Road, the side of the Obas Palace, you know, and then I walk all the way like that to Sapele Road to attend Imagwero College. You know, these are my memories of growing up in Benin. And then when I think back that I used to trek everywhere, I used to walk everywhere, and then I look at my life today, it's good to remember and then be grateful for how far God has brought you. You know, to think that I am someone today that I can't walk, I don't walk anywhere now, or else I want to. But then I walked everywhere because I had no choice. One of the things I hated the most was going to school barefooted. When I was in primary school was when I went to school barefooted. And I remember what I hated the most was if you were late to school, for any reason you're late to school, you'll be one of those people that will be sent to go and do the picking up of dirt, you know, picking up of rubbish from the yard. It used to be terrible. Like, the worst thing is, behind Agbado Primary School, people used to like use it as toilet, and you were asked to go clean up this place barefooted. As this is life I experienced, barefooted, walking on top of shite, like feces, you know, and you're picking up all this rubbish. No, those are the bad memories that I have. It makes me sad on one hand to think about all the things I've been through. Some of you leave me comments about what you've been through as well. The truth is this, so many of us have stories to tell. Luckily for me, I have a platform and I can share my story. But you know, unfortunately, it's the story for a lot of people. But I really hope that a video like this, you know, you can make you think about the fact that you can come from so much poverty to completely opposite. I'm not a billionaire or whatever, but I'm not hungry. I have food to eat. I'm comfortable. I can use the word comfortable. Sometimes when I think about where I'm coming from and then I look at where I am today, I can't help but be grateful to God. You know, the other time I saw a video and they were showing some streets of Benin, and you know, it just hit me. Like, I was just kind of looking at it and I missed Benin so much, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm actually not from there. Like, why do I feel like this? And I had to just tell myself the truth. The truth is this is where I lived from the age of 7 to the age of 2021. That is the place that I grew up. So definitely it is home. You know, definitely it is home to me. And you know, I have to tell myself the truth that, you know, there's a part of me that is always going to be a Benin girl. Like, you know, it's just what it is. You know, I'm an Igbo girl, 100%. I'm an Igbo girl. I'm going to be honest and say that Benin holds a special place in my heart. Like, seriously. You know, and there's one experience I'll never forget when I was in Agbado Primary School. You know, when my parents split up, I've already made videos talking about it, you know. When my parents split up, you know the way, no matter how hard the man tries, sometimes, you know, especially for an African man, his eyes can't see everything. You know, my mother wasn't there. My uniform was beginning to rip, as in, how do I say rip? Tear. My uniform, they tear for Bele here. I was still going to school with him, so I used to be very shy. And I used to be so shy. I used to be such a shy girl. I never said a word. I was the quiet one. I was a very quiet, shy girl. Had no confidence, nothing. I was always quiet. Very peaceful girl. I was. But I used to kind of hold it like this. I used to fold it and hold it, and nobody. And I used to walk around with my hand holding it. I raised my hand and I told the teacher that I needed to go use the bathroom. You know, in Nigeria we say, I won't go peace, you know, whatever. And she said to me, "You this girl, why are you always holding your uniform?" And she said, "Take your hands off. Take your hands off." I just kind of froze. "Take your hand off." Because then my uniform was really bad. She was like, "Take your hand off." And I took my hand off. I never forget. And my uniform just opened. Like when I say opened, it opened to the point where you could see my pata. Like you could see my pata. You could see my knickers. You know, here we say knickers. You can see my pants. In Nigeria we say pants. Yeah, my pants, my underwear. You could see my brief. And the whole class laughed. That day, I just felt like the ground should open so I could just hide. And these are some of my memories. I'm just hoping that a video like this will inspire anybody that's watching this. Just to tell you that no matter your situation at the moment, you know, hold on tight to your faith in God. Hold on tight to God, because only Him knows the plans that He has for you. Like when I think about my life, and I'm like, who am I that you are mindful of me? Who I be that God has brought me so far? You know, I really have to appreciate God for what He has done. And just when I think back and I look at me today, see me. Jesus, you love me too much.